The raging war with the galactic invaders had now been going on for almost a full year. In that time, 3 countries had been invaded, of which one was almost retaken. Germany kept on sending more troops along with their Italian comrades, and even some British volunteers, to fend off the stormtroopers near the coastal towns. But a mere week later, the alarm was raised. All of a sudden, the message was thrown out there that Paris had fallen. Palpatine had invaded and attacked France in an all-out assault. Many cities were targeted at the same time, and France got pressured and cornered in a matter of days. It did not take long for them to capitulate afterwards. Now the battles that were being fought in France were mostly between Palpatine's men and the Germans, Italians, and British. Though France had capitulated, and many believed that its neighboring countries would soon follow, to everyone's surprise, the Germans and Italians were able to push them back, and at a very rapid pace at that. The nations of Earth that were directly involved against Palpatine had millions of men stationed and ready. But Palpatine could always send in more reinforcements, so it was only a matter of time before their numbers were matched. The French sent over to America mourned the loss of their country, but it also fueled their hearts into fighting off the enemy even more. They stood beside their American and Canadian brothers to fight to the bitter end. The German display of dominance over the galactic forces was staggering. By liberating France, but keeping ownership of its territory, the German government got its wish of soldiers fighting under one banner. Despite France having capitulated, there were still many French who were able to fight, and they would gladly pick up arms to get but a chance to kill a stormtrooper. But by the end of August, hopeful spirits were crushed as news came out that the United States had capitulated and were now officially under control of Palpatine. Emperor Palpatine ordered one of his generals, the feared Lord Darth Vader, to issue an official to govern and look after the US to keep it secure. The one responsible for the failure to hold the UK had already been dealt with. Next up on their targeting sector seemed the logical choice. With America down, it was now Canada's time to burn. Though Canada managed to keep the Imperial troops at bay up until now, they soon realized this was only because Palpatine had not set his focus completely on their country. The Galactic Empire was advancing rapidly, using more armor, including a vehicle labeled the AAT, an older design used in some of Palpatine's earliest conquests. It was a manner that repeated itself multiple times, where Palpatine won a fight and gained territory in Canada, but with a high toll in loss of stormtroopers and armor. But this could not be seen in Europe. All that could be seen here was an ever-expanding Germany. Italy at the same time had also gained much territory in former France, benefiting both parties. Though the battles went well on all fronts, both invasion forces had not been completely dealt with yet. Realizing that Russia would have its part to play in this conflict as well, the German government agreed to allow them ownership over the eastern half of former Poland. Due to this offer, Russian soldiers joined the German assaults near the coast. Their sturdy Russian tanks joined the German panzers side by side. Palpatine was glad with the way things were going. He realized that Europe would need more effort to conquer, and he would concentrate over the coming months on the Americas before changing continent once more. When France capitulated, part of its population fled to Africa, who labeled themselves Free France. But after seeing the dominant display of Germany, many realized that they had to join forces. They did so under the name Vichy France. Spanish were sent over the hill as well under the lead of General Franco. Many Europeans bonded together and fought under one banner as predicted months earlier. Then a month after America had capitulated, Canada gave in as well. With two nations down, Palpatine had not to worry about the North anymore. Leaders were anticipating his next move. Some believed he would attack a nation on a different continent far from the conquered territory, while others believed he would move down south. In case Africa would be attacked, Vichy France would act as the link between a resupply of men and weapons from Germany, Italy, Russia, and retaken Britain. Despite victories time and time again, the Germans were unable to completely root out the stormtroopers down at the coast that had been there since the initial invasion. Britain, that had been retaken so valiantly, came under attack once more from the inside. This time, it was not at the same staggering pace, but for the Brits, it was enough to ring the alarm. Mexico then requested to join the Axis forces, as they announced to the world that they had been invaded by Palpatine's forces. The war, as it seemed, would now move southward.